Hello, everybody, and welcome to, well, we're supposed to be on WarCrafters for March 2nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 9. I am Merwat, and I run ohmtown.com, and inside that is WarCrafters. And along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about some games during the WarCrafters show. 5 articles. We're going to start with Spy Game Fest, then Kaizen, Breakout Reboot, Deckbuilder Roguelikes, and Drop Duchy. That and more is found over at ohmtown.com, and under that is the WarCrafters channel. And everything is powered by that there ohmtown.com site. Go over and become a citizen. You can also follow us here on Twitch and on YouTube. I have the chats on both active right now, so come and hang out, download the podcast. There's 1900 episodes that are trapped in the matrix of YouTube and podcasts and pretty much everywhere. Anyway, hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Are you ready to get into these 5 articles?
I am.
There were a lot submitted for WarCrafters, which is the first show today. And then after this show is Technology Today. And then after that show is FourWheeltech. Merged together, it becomes the Sunday weekend edition of Non Sequitur News, all of which is going to be over on YouTube for the long term. For 60 days or so, it's going to be here on Twitch as well. If you're interested in all of the show notes, all you have to do is hit exclamation point and then WC for WarCrafters. And Omatron will spit out the articles in the order that we're going to go through them, but not in order of, favorite or anything like that. Anyway, hopefully you stick around and you enjoy it. And then you download the podcast and you leave a 5-star review and make a comment over on YouTube. There are no comments on Twitch, at least none that survive the Great Purge every 60 days. Anyway, let's get into it. First article is, this post will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Steam's first ever Spy Game Festival is kicking off in May. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, this sounds fun.
So if you haven't heard of it, then Next Fest ends tomorrow. I've downloaded a bunch of games that I wanted to play, couldn't get around to playing, not without sacrificing my mayoral duties. And so hopefully they stay live and I don't get a whole bunch of alerts that this isn't available anymore. It's going to suck because I've probably got about 30 demos. But right on the horizon is Steam's first ever Spy Game Festival, and I love spy games and spy TV shows and movies and stuff like that, so it's always fun. So this post will self-destruct not long after mentioning how much the author of this over at PC Gamer needed more good spy games in their life. They were given a heads up via Dead Drop, naturally, about the Spy Video Game Rendezvous, a dev-organized Steam festival showcasing spy-themed games kicking off May 23rd.
Hey, what's really odd is I was about to mention, hey, we just had an article in WarCrafters about that, but that must be the one that's being referenced.
Must be. Hosted by There's Always a Madman solo dev, Sunny Demeanor Games, the Steam Fest will feature more than 30 spy romps and will run until May 30th, with the week appropriately coinciding with the arrival of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and the 117th anniversary of Ian Fleming's birth.
Wow, I didn't know James Bond had been around that long.
I don't know how long James Bond has been around.
Well, that's probably true. Not from Ian Fleming's birth, right?
Right. I think it's 50 years old now. Hold on.
It's older than that.
Is it? Hold on. We're doing it live. 1953. James Bond's character was born in 1953. Not born. It was created.
So more than 70 years ago.
Yeah. Pretty fascinating. So Fraser Brown over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement says the spy video game Rendezvous will feature a week-long spy fest accompanied by a Spy Games Direct featuring trailers from upcoming espionage romps. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, what would be the Reacher? What is actually pretty fun. It's not really spy. But it has,
but kind of thriller type.
Yeah, if you're into that kind of thing.
Spy would be probably like Night Agent, or that's all I can come up with at the moment for a show.
Slow Horses.
Oh, right, exactly.
Yeah. So to kick off the event, Sunny Demeanor Games' YouTube channel will also host a State of the Union of spy video games showing off upcoming spy games that you might want to keep on your radar. It's a genre that could definitely use a bit more love beyond the usual stealth action affairs that spy games typically focus on. The author says that they love me some Metal Gear, but as the game most people think of as the genre comes up, it only captures a sliver of what makes the spy life such compelling entertainment. Hopefully, the author again says that they'll find some new games to add to their list in May. But yeah, there isn't anything formally online yet, I suppose. Just that they're going to be talking about it from the 23rd to the 30th. I'm there for it.
Well, yeah, I think that's a win.
Yep. Let's keep going. Next article is over on the WarCrafters channel. One of the best puzzle game designers is back with Kaizen, a factory story, a game about manufacturing Japanese consumer goods during the largest economic bubble in history. From the release of Space Chem in 2011 through to the last call BBS in 2022, indie developer Zachtronics was a legend in the admittedly small world of puzzle games that are a bit like programming a computer. While the studio made a variety of games, including a prescient visual novel about AI called Eliza. Its specialty was a kind of engineering puzzle all about refining your input to create the ideal output. Games that came to be known as Zach-likes. But Zach Barth says that they hate saying Zach-like, who both Zachtronics and the Zach-like were named after.
Well, maybe they should have named it something else if they don't like saying that.
Yeah, really. Don't call it Zachtronics. Zachtronics is dead. Long live coincidence. Jody McGregor over at PCGamer.com put the article together. Kaizen, a factory story, has a trailer, part of IGN Fan Fest 2025, apparently. I guess we can play some of it, right? And it shows the trailer here from IGN. A little bit here, a little bit there. It's kind of a...
Kind of like a sim, right?
Yeah, I mean, except that it shows programmatic automation to build something. It's kind of like how you would edit video, or make music in something like...
Oh, right. Yeah, like you see a similar program or whatever in the game.
Yeah, and it does certain things and makes certain moves and pieces together whatever it is you're trying to actually manufacture. It's kind of interesting. It's called a factory story. Kaizen, a factory story. What a weird...
That looks worth checking out.
Yeah. So it says Zachtronics is no more, however, having shut down following the release of Last Call BBS and a final collection of solitaire games. Kaizen is the work of a new studio called Coincidence, which consists of Barth and several of his Zachtronics collaborators like writer, producer, and audio engineer Matthew Burns. Barth says it's not a Zachtronics game. This is a Coincidence game, which is a totally legally distinct game studio. So I guess the attorney said, make sure you...
Right, this is not Zachtronics, everybody.
That's right.
We're not calling it Zachtronics. We're not identifying with Zachtronics.
We don't even know somebody named Zach, except for this Zach, but that's not Zachtronics. We're not even going to
acknowledge that exists.
Nope, that is not a cheeseburger that I'm eating. So It's an area of history and location that we've always kind of been interested in, says Burns, because fundamentally the games that we make are about making things, and this was a time period where the things that were made weren't just successful as products, but successful as things that we remember today. So this is the era of the Sony Walkman, Japanese camcorders, computers and consoles, VCRs, TVs, microwaves. It's the reason all those 1980s cyberpunk books and movies predicted a future where Atari would be world-conquering megacorporation and everyone would be eating ramen in the rain, which is an ironic reference, or not ironic, more prescient. Because let's move on to the next article. I think we're going to end up having to grab this and try the demo out and pay attention to this. So this could be wanted for crying out loud. You know what? Before we leave, I have to... They have a Rising Sun official theatrical trailer from 1993 embedded in this.
Well, it's tied to the theming, I think. With like the company coming to power, etc.
They mentioned the Michael Crichton book Rising Sun, and especially the movie version with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, and Barth and Burns say they recently watched the trailer and laughed at how ridiculous it is. It's a perfect example of the popular perception of the time that Japan was an economic powerhouse because everyone had a code of Bushido honor and a black belt. Fascinating.
You know, I don't think you often hear for video games that books, I'm not saying never, but that they're a connection. And here they're using another book called Inventing Japan. You know, it's one thing if there's a book and then it's turned into a game.
But this
is different. Yeah.
Inspirational, not...
Exactly, which is kind of fascinating.
So instead, Kaizen is about the philosophy of revision and iteration that actually helped Japan rebuild itself after World War II. But that isn't the full story about how Japan rebuilt itself. It was American engineers that went to Japan and taught the basics of engineering and systemization. And then Japan took that and injected it with their pure energy and determination to rebuild after World War II. And they dominated all the way through the 80s, 90s. Even today, I think that they're somewhat of a juggernaut, but there's certain machinations.
Think of the robotics city that we featured in, I think, Reality Hacker yesterday.
Yeah. What was it called? Oh my God, I forgot. It was from Toyota.
Yeah, I don't know. And it was engineered by somebody named Toyota with a D.
Yeah. Or at least they're involved in it heavily. Yeah. So it's a word that means continuous improvement, Kaizen. It's also the word that Toyota, when they were designing their production quality control system, used to refer to empowering people who work on the line to make improvements from the bottom up instead of the top down. If somebody whose job it is to put screws in can think of a way to make those screws go in faster or more reliably, they're encouraged to speak up and bring that up and make that improvement. They think it's a really cool idea. And I do too. I agree, because nobody knows it better than somebody with boots on the ground. And usually when you end up in admin, either you've forgotten it or you've got a different control in place because somebody higher up is pulling the money strings. And money isn't necessarily the end all be all. If your quality sucks and long term it collapses or your reputation falls in the tank. So yeah, we're going to have to take a look at this. This is astrological though. This screenshot.
Oh, okay.
Which is a different game. All the way back to Space Chem, Kaizen has been the hidden philosophy behind the Zack-like continuous improvement from the smallest details up to the top is the common element out of all of these puzzle games. Yeah, I like all of this. So
yeah, that seems fun.
There's no... you can find Kaizen, a factory story on Steam, but apparently it doesn't have a release date. I don't know if there's a demo yet, but... let me see. I can actually pull it up right now. Yeah, there's no demo, but I'll add it to my wish list so I can monitor it. I'm now at 532 things in my wish list.
How many hours will that take you to play all of those?
All of them. But I don't get a chance to play games. So. Anyway, the next article is over in Technology Today, and here we go. Remember in the last article, I was talking about Atari.
Atari must be the winner of the video game wars.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. So Atari's side-scrolling Breakout Reboot arrives on March 25th, proving that truly no IP is safe from modern reboot culture. Atari's Breakout is back. The upcoming version of the simple 1976 brick-smashing hit rotates the playing field by 90 degrees and adds auto-scrolling, neon effects, power-ups, and local co-op. In other words, Breakout Beyond is the Tetris effect formula applied to the Led Zeppelin-era arcade classic. The original Breakout was the product of a dramatically more limited 1970s hardware, but its simplicity was part of its magic. Rows of bricks sat on top, and a player-controlled paddle lived down below, and a ball would just kind of bounce around. But they talk more about it over at Engadget. Will Shanklin.
Is this the one where you have to break the different, I don't know, sections of bricks or whatever?
Yeah, until you can actually break through it, and then it bounces around like crazy up on top of it. That was one of the objectives, but the goal is to get rid of all of the bricks. So Breakout Beyond builds on the 1976 classic with neon-infused power-ups and local co-op. Will Shanklin put it together. It's over at Engadget. And it says that the ball, actually a square, thanks to 1970s graphics, bounced around in between. Move the paddle, hit the ball, smash the bricks. Wow, bell-bottom wearing arcade goers. So the core
this
formula...
isn't throwing any shade at any older gamers.
No, none at all. Well, now there's going to be... You're going to have 2 balls or more, because you could have multiple, and 2 paddles because you could have local co-op. And the wall is sideways, not on top. Wow. It's amazing, the ingenuity.
Right, rotate it.
Rotate it.
But you know what? It'll probably be a big hit.
Now you can play it while you're in bed laying on your side, and it's...
There you go.
just like you're playing it upright.
For those with nostalgia, that's right. That's the way to do it.
So the game supports 2-player local co-op. Breakout Beyond will arrive on PC, Switch, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, 4, and Atari's rebooted VCS console on March 25th. It costs $15, but there's a 10% discount if you pre-order. Sounds good. I'll have to take a look at that too. You know what? In fact, let me just break out.
We're doing it live.
We're doing everything live. Breakout Beyond. It does not have the early purchase in Steam. Sorry. Yeah, there's no early discount. So maybe if you go to,
maybe if you use the link from the article.
Yeah. If you go to Engadget.com, follow the link through ohmTown and you'll go right to it. So anyway, let's keep on going. Next article's over on WarCrafters as well. You've got to try these 5 brilliant, free, roguelike deck builder game demos before Steam Next Fest ends tomorrow.
Oh, that's coming up soon.
Yeah, so when the author over at PC Gamer pitched PC Gamer a list of the top 5 deck builder demos of Next Fest, Steam's Next Fest, they probably should have checked that there weren't 4 billion of the things. Still, there is a fantastic problem to have. So let's talk about these. Abby Stone over at PCGamer.com put the article together. It says, be a haunted house, play pinball billiards, and help a bird migrate with the power of spelling. All right.
Oh, that must be edutainment.
Is it though?
I'm not sure, but we were just talking about the lack of that.
The lack of, children's edutainment. Alioso is the first one on their list, then Castle v. Castle, which looks a lot like a game that I designed nearly 30 years ago. It's a little different. Slightly different name, but anyway. Deck of Haunts. In this one, I've actually seen the demo and watched it because I want to get it. It's on my list as well. This one, you play cards. You are the house, and your objective is to eliminate basically ghost hunters.
Okay. That could be fun. I mean, that's kind of a fun twist.
Yep. And then Ballardo, where you're playing billiards with careful aim and strategy is overrated. What we all really want to do is hit the cue ball as hard as we can and pinball everything everywhere. Ballardo encourages exactly that. You accumulate points from boring old pocketing, sure, but also from far more satisfying art of bouncing the balls into each other as much as possible. The deck building comes in from stickers that you permanently add to balls to give them the multiplier bonuses for things like being pocketed. So they bounce around until they get pocketed and you get multipliers, extra points.
Okay. It's interesting seeing how many games are going back to somewhat basic concepts, but then giving them some twists.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The amount of creativity that humans have is almost immeasurable. But there is a theory that you stop being the pinnacle of creative after 30, and it goes down even more after 50. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it depends on just how much you live life and where you see.
Right. I think there's way too many variables for that to be true either way.
Yeah. We'll see. Keep an eye on me. So Vertigo is another, the fifth in their list, and then they have honorable mentions. But Vertigo is you help a bird migrate by playing Scrabble in what's already their new favorite word game. Your deck is a collection of letter tiles that you have to form into words to create flaps for your bird to make the long journey. Special feathers give you bonuses by adding a multiplier if you play an even word or use two of the same letter in a row. It's a great core for a word game, and adorable birdie presentation layered over the top is simply a delightful bonus. That's an interesting lead. So Vertigo, Ballardo, and that one I'm going to add. Ballardo.
I like Vertigo and Deck of Haunts, I think, the most out of this.
Yeah, so Ballardo actually has a demo that's available right now. I'm sure Vertigo does, but it's a word game, so it makes me think too much. Just kidding.
I doubt that.
I have to say that I think word games are best played with other people, and so I like playing. What is it? You Don't Know Jack party games. I like those kind of games where you have to come up with words or interact and stuff like that. I might actually start doing that here on Twitch and YouTube. I guess we'll see. And I'm going to install Deck of Many Haunts as well. So anyway, let's go on to the last one.
By the way, I did check up on Deck of Haunts, and they don't have a date for the actual game, just, of course, the demo being available.
Yeah, it just says coming soon. Yeah, I guess we'll see. The demo came out, I guess, December 16th, 2024, but the full version, I don't know. Let's do our last article, and this one is actually a lot of fun. I've actually played Drop Duchy. The demo is a unholy fusion of city builder, roguelike deck builder, and Tetris, and you can try it for free right now. Roguelike deck builders rampage across Steam. They grow and replicate without impediment, swallowing up every other genre they encounter to spawn a new hybrid of mutant games.
Wow.
We're doomed.
I didn't know they were like their own kind of pandemic or something across gaming.
They are zombie-like. They seek more brains and all that kind of stuff. Roguelike deck builders rampage across Steam. So let's just say this is exactly what they are saying. It's a city builder, roguelike deck builder, and Tetris merged into one, and it's called Drop Duchy. Robin Valentine put the article together. I've played this several times. It's actually a lot of fun, frustrating at times, but check out the demo during Steam Next Fest ending March 3rd. So you have today and tomorrow. I think it ends at like 11 or something like that tomorrow, maybe 1 o'clock. Anyway, The screenshot shows what this looks like, and it's basically a Tetris field, and the shapes are little bits of landmass. Sometimes they are in the shape of a plus or a single square or a big square or an L or different shapes. And they drop down, and you have to put them in place, and there's different mechanics depending on where you put them. You have an
this
enemy.
kind of reminds me of like a battleship style, or maybe like a, I don't know, Command and Conquer kind of elements.
It's definitely not Command and Conquer, because no pieces move on top of the land masses. All it does is drop down.
That's true. That's true.
By the way, Command and Conquer and a bunch of other EA game source code was released into the wild.
I saw that.
I talked about that yesterday. And it says, once all the blocks have dropped, battle begins in earnest. Though it's a simple affair, soldiers stand on the blocks that generated them, and you have to drag them from one to another in a long chain. Friendly groups merge together, opposed groups fight, and you keep chaining into all of the other battles until all of the battles are resolved. It's primarily a numbers game. There are 10 swordsmen beat the enemy's 5, taking a few casualties as they go, but there's also simple rock, paper, scissors to account for 2, with arrows beating axes, axes beating swords, swords beating arrows, which I don't know how that works, but that's a distance thing, I suppose. They just do the rock, paper, scissors, and they're forcing that plot to move.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we have to have realism there.
Yeah, so it's actually a lot of fun, and I don't know if the demo is going to go away on the 3rd, because not everybody has to follow that mandate.
Right, I see. And by the way, it does go to 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern.
Gotcha.
For the next fest.
Gotcha. So 10 is 1. Yep. Time. How does it work? It's like a magnet. Anyway, Drop Duchy is a lot of fun. It's simple to understand. It's complex to master with some randomization in there. Basically, best laid plans are all for naught. So you have to use some strategery.
Oh no.
Yep. Because you be the decider. It's actually a lot of fun, and it really is simple. And you move your troops literally by dragging an arrow from one area to another to eliminate the enemy. And one wrong move can amplify the enemy's forces dramatically. And so you need to pay attention to the multipliers, the modifiers that each of the pieces come equipped with. And then don't derp. So.
And I'm sorry, is it single player?
Yes. At least for now. Who knows? Maybe they'll extend it and it'll be competitive. I don't believe that there is a competitive version of it. But that's it. That is it for WarCrafters for February 3rd. March 3rd. My goodness, I lost track.
March 2nd.
Oh, it's March 2nd. Jeez. I'm really losing track. March 2nd, 2025, Season 2, Episode 9 of WarCrafters. I'm back on track, folks. The time machine is what really throws me off. So
we kept talking about March 3rd for the end of next fest, too.
We're going to drop the Duchy on the left-hand side and end up back at WarCrafters front page at ohmtown.com, where a bunch of game stuff gets aggregated. And you can go and check it all out. And then come back tomorrow for Non Sequitur News. It's our weekly show. We do it Monday through Friday, Non Sequitur News.
It's our daily show.
It's our daily show. We do it all week long, though. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we do 3 shows. This is the first of the Sunday shows. So WarCrafters, then Technology Today, and then FourWheeltech. And on Saturday, we do
Reality Hacker, Wanted, and the Continuity Report.
That's right. And those get turned into the Saturday edition of Non Sequitur News. So there's always a Non Sequitur News. But maybe you're not interested in nearly 2 hours of show each day on Saturday and Sunday. We always run
But you know
long.
what? You should watch all of them to find out.
That's right. All of them. Because sometimes you like it. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't really like this episode, but there's 1,900 episodes. Come on,
Check them all out and tell us which your favorite one was.
Check them all out. I want an enumerated list of the shows that you dig and why you didn't dig them.
Give us a ranking.
That's right. Put them in a rank order. Yes, rank and file them. And I would like it notarized in triplicate. Okay. We'll see you on the other side. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, Town Citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's WarCrafters. Stay tuned for other episodes and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And also watch our replays and our back episodes.
Yeah, and be sure to follow us over on Twitch and YouTube and download the podcast and leave a 5-star review and tell a friend. We need to grow this because I want to do this full-time more. I want to do this more, and I'm having fun doing it. It's the one thing that I really dig all day long because it's dynamic. It changes things up. Every day is unique, but I would like to see some smiling faces, more and more smiling faces. So go tell a friend. Bye. See ya. We're going to reset maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It depends on if the sentient AI from the future will be immediately available. So we'll see. Be sure to follow us. Bye. Bye-bye, YouTube. And bye-bye, Twitch.